A lot of times when a culture gets brought up, at least when it comes to gaming, first thing that people usually think of is Korea. And it's for their, in terms it can be called harsh, just because it's, long, everything is super refined, and a lot is expected of each individual person. And when a lot of people compare that to things like NA, people almost think of it as a joke, which I'm not going to disagree. And as you can see by the title, we're talking about how does a region's culture, affect them. And we'll kind of, break down like several different regions, and then we'll kind of bring it back together. So we'll start with Korea and people who that think they have the best culture. So I know for games like Overwatch, games like League, a lot of their players will have like 16-hour days. That's including any team meetings, solo queue, like anything that involves with the game. And a lot of times those are like every day, if not every other day. Gaming is kind of like their life because I know like there's a lot of league players, for instance, that left their homes. I mean, obviously there were some people that got supported, but a lot of people didn't have the support of their parents or just their parents didn't understand. They give up their whole entire lives. Some of them do just for this chance to make greatness, and all of them don't. I mean, if you think about it, when it comes to Korea, teams like, and we're just talking about, we'll talk about League first. You have SKT, the Samsung teams. No, now you have like this Griffin team. You have Afrika. Like you have all these teams that are known throughout everywhere. But do you know? Can you name any of the teams that are seventh, sixth? All those places. No, you can't. They're not now recognized. Even sometimes by their own region, they're not really recognized. And it's kind of weird because at no point do people not question what they do. In Korea, it's like either you're at the top or you're all the way down here. And like for most other regions, that's not the same. In other regions, everyone gets a trophy. It's pretty much little league. Korea is like the big leagues. Every other region's the little leagues. Everyone, you tried, buddy. You might be the absolute worst team in your region, but hey, at least you tried. If you're the worst team in Korea, no one even knows you. No one's gonna say you're bad. Nobody knows or cares about you. And that does something to some teams when they're not recognized or they're called bad. That puts a fire under them, and they drive to even do more than those regular, 15, 16-hour days. Pretty much giving up everything to one day again be called great. Just and their mentality when they're practicing. It's not like anyone can have a 16-hour day. Literally anyone. But it's like, what are they doing in those 16 hours? Are they just, lollygagging? No. They're 100% pedal to the metal because they want to be someone. They want to be good at the game. When you compare that to other regions, that's much less so. Sure, you do have outliers in every single region, but it's not a constant. Now, obviously, I'm not going to put every Korean on a pedestal. Say every Korean does this. No, obviously not. Obviously not. That's just not how it works. But when you look at the majority of Koreans, or we'll just say Asia as a whole, because China, at least again in League, are kind of closer to that area, and Smite, that's a different story. But we're not talking about Smite. And Overwatch, I think they're decent at best. Their Shanghai Dragons team that does not represent them in the Overwatch League because that does not represent China as a whole. And then they eventually got Koreans because why wouldn't you get Koreans? But that does not represent their culture. If you actually look at the Chinese national team from this year, last year, and then just like some of the teams they have a lot of talent. Talking about Overwatch, they have a lot of talent. but because of one reason or another, a lot of them didn't get to go to Overwatch League Season 1. I know everyone was talking about that Miraculous Youngsters team that was a shoe-in. Would they have done much better than the eventual Shanghai Dragons roster? Probably not, but they at least would have won a game. I guarantee you that. I 100% guarantee you that. Kind of going back to Korea mainly, because that's kind of like the pinnacle. From one reason I do think that their culture is a little bit better is even though there are like certain people who have to like give up everything just to do this, gaming has looked way different in Korea. Even though in some parts of the United States, you know, you can be a celebrity, but it's only for the tip top. Gaming is seen as like a way of life. It's not seen as that in the West yet. And again, in some parts that is, but if you're a gamer and like you're known, everyone's gonna want to talk to you on the streets. You can walk in NA and there's like so many people that wouldn't know you. Like, I know there's probably plenty of pro League of Legends players, pro Overwatch players that could walk on the street. Not saying they want it to happen, but people would have zero clue who you are. You do that in Korea and even in China. You're much likely less to be like, oh my gosh, can I have your autograph like that? You know what I'm saying? Now, again, for like the tip top players in the West, you can have that. I'm not saying, and I'm also not saying every Korean's like that, but if you look at the majority that have at least an established name, they have a fan base. Because it's just because how gaming is there, you know. So then we can go to let's go to Europe. Because we'll do 3 different regions. Because that's what I've experienced in. We'll go to Europe. Europe's known a lot for toxicity, and at first I was kind of on the train that oh yeah they're just toxic. But when you look at it, especially results wise, if you want to do this in results based, it works. And again, I kind of have this like plane that I do. It's like on this side there's bad toxicity where it's like you're just flaming for no reason just because you're angry. There's no direction. It's just pure anger on this side. But on this side, yeah, you're angry, but there's an actual reason. There's actually a cause that is actually good. You're not just spewing everything, every piece of hatred you have. You know, you're angry, but you're trying to communicate something, but you just don't know how to do it. Now, I'm not saying this is apparent in every single European, but I feel like that's more the case than not compared to other regions. I know many Europeans that are considered toxic, but when you talk to them, it's just like, yeah, I don't know how to explain myself, or I'm angry, but you can see what it does, like in Smite, League, a little bit in Overwatch. You can see the good effect. It's the same thing in Korea. You can see the good effect in it because it makes people, you know, stay on the line. You know, people are not just going to, you know, randomly, hey, let me just do this because, you know, whatever. Because people know if they, you know, kind of, even if they mess up, they're going to get yelled at. And obviously, you can just have mute them law. But at the same time, people don't really want to do that. You don't really want to mute your teammates, right? Because, you know, you want communication. And we're talking about the highest level, obviously, not like your regular casuals or normals or whatever. We're talking about the highest level. You don't want to mute your teammates. You want communication so you can win. Everyone wants to win. And I think in literally every culture, everyone wants to win. No, there's no way, outside of a few outliers, there's no way you would want to become a pro player or high ranked player if you didn't want to win. I don't see a scenario where someone's just like, hey, you know what? I think I'm just going to be a pro player, lol. No, they want to win. And again, people get passionate about that, and it comes out in toxic ways. You know? They just don't know how to properly and calmly express how they feel. Now, because I'm the same way. There are times where I can effectively communicate how I'm feeling in a calm way, but a lot of times my passion and all that stuff to start driving through, and I get very angry, and I kind of just fall off the handle. Am I saying it's right? No. But at the same time, my common goal is just to get everyone on the same side to win. That's all I want. But when you have cases like North America and a lot of games, and we're talking about games that, actually, I was going to say not games are not exclusively played by Westerners. Even games that are exclusively played like by Westerners, or at least they're the majority. You see this in North America, especially most pro scenes are a joke. Ranked is seen as fun or practice. Well, it can be practice, but it's usually seen as fun or just relaxing. You know, ranked, in my opinion, should be the precursor to scrims. Because obviously, in actual tournament play, league play, and scrim, that's when you're doing your best. You're trying everything your best. You know, you're not seeing if, well, you see if something works, but like you're going hard. You're trying to win. You're trying to learn. And rank, I feel, should be just slower than that. You know, you can play a little bit loose, but obviously you should be trying to learn, draw picks, and just get better. Obviously, but there's like a little bit less pressure there, just because it's ranked. There's nothing on the line depending on who you are. There's nothing really on the line there. But in ranked, it's like, hey, you know what? You know, I could, try my best to win, but why not just play freaking Nike ADC with Sunder and, Spray? I'm like, what? Like, I'm not saying you have to be a meta bot, but at the same time, it's like, there's a place if you want to do something like that. That's called casuals. Ranked should be for people who want to go against the very best, or at least people at their skill level, and see how good they are, and climb, and constantly get better. That's what ranked for. Ranked is not for you to go freaking Zed support with freaking cleanse ignite. That's I'll say, well, the ignite would be good, but you get the idea. Ranked is not supposed to be this joke, and that's one reason why I think NA fails most of the time, outside of when they have imports. And imports, in my opinion, are actually negative in the long run. Obviously, it varies from team to team, but I wish in NA, at least in League, there was no import rule, and I wish in Overwatch, even though it's kind of different because everyone's in the same place, but I wish you couldn't import people. I wish it was constantly organic, your region. So, like, if you have citizenship in that region, you can play for that region. Which, at times, I thought about this in Smite. What if they allowed imports? But I think Loco Doco said it best. When you constantly import people, that pushes people down. So it's like this. Let's say your mid jungle is not doing too hot, but you can, get some Koreans or some Europeans. Let's say they're good, but they're not at the same level as who you have. Well, those people that you had get pushed down. They don't have a chance to grow at their highest level, and everyone gets worse because let's say you have like an Academy or Challenger Cup. Those mid jungles probably fill in spots right there, which takes away spots from other people that could grow there. And again, if let's say your mid jungle don't work out, one of them just doesn't work out, they don't like the culture, or they're just not as good, you kind of shot yourselves in the foot because you could have, organically grew talent, but you decided to take a quick fix instead of, over time trying to fix it. You try to just get it done now. You try to fix it now. And that hurts you in the long run if it does not work out. Even if it does work out, and sometimes it can still have negative effects in the long run again. It can damage your region as a whole. But that's how I kind of see regions and their culture. Now, obviously, there are downsides to the Korean European culture, which are seen as a little bit better. Constantly having those brutal work schedules. Like, if you slip up even a little bit, your spot could be taken. That's another thing that NA usually lacks. If a Korean's doing bad, yes, the team may not be able to pick up someone right away that's at their skill level, but they could easily grow there. And that's something that happens to Koreans. Like, if they know that they have a chance to replace, that puts some fire into them to even do better. And NA, it's just like, my spot's secure, so I'm just gonna kind of do whatever. There's no fire under, like, Westerners a lot of the times. And it's like, what reason? I'm popular, my stream's cool, I get a lot of money. It's just like, hey, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Well, if you don't want to be known as a winner, go ahead. But I feel like pro play should be seen as these people we have on our rosters all want to be winners. Regardless of skill levels, they want to be winners. But that's just not apparent a lot of times in Western culture. But that's all I got on the topic. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like, favorite, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.